Hey everyone, it's Nathas, and today I'm going to be opening a booster display of Battle for Whitefang Pass. So I actually just got home from playing in a release tournament for Set 2 of SolForge Fusion, and this set's a lot of fun. So my goal is just to open up a display, have some fun, see what kind of cards I can get, and then later this weekend I'll probably be opening some more product and kind of going a little more in depth. But just because it's getting a little late, I'm probably just going to open these a little quicker than I normally would, just to kind of see what we got going. But I'm very excited, and so far I've just opened one booster kit for as part of the sealed, so I kind of have been waiting for this evening to open anything more. All right, we'll get these out. I'm gonna put the other three just to the side for now, and then we'll go one at a time. Just find a good place to put it down. That's good enough. All right, so let's get into the first kit. All right. So in the kit that I actually opened earlier, I had two soulbound creatures as well, which was really cool. Because I think there was only one or two others, maybe three others opened just in general. So it was nice to have two in the same kit. All right, so let's see what our first decks will look like. So it looks like there's nothing foil out of this one. So let's start with the Utera deck. And the foils look really cool. Initially, when I saw them, I thought the whole card was going to be foil, but it's actually only the border. And initially, I was like, "Oh man!" But then I realized, like when I saw it in person, they look incredible, and they kind of feel a little bit like retro Magic cards. So I think it's really nice that it's something that they kind of went for. And plus, they're unlikely to warp because of the way that the foiling looks to be done on the card. So I think we shouldn't really see a lot of the warping you see in a lot of the um, other card games. Alright, so we're going to start with an Ardent Polymorpher. So to deploy, you may replace an enemy creature with a Wisp. We've got a Heart Tree. Deploy, destroy your level 1 and level 2 Heart Tree to give a creature plus 10 health. When you gain life, you may give a creature in this lane plus 10 health. A Refreshing Packmaster. Whenever one of your warriors is dealt damage, give it plus 10 attack. Deploy, if this replaces a creature, give it 13 health. Or you gain 13 health. Spiked Carapace. Give a creature plus 10. If it's played on a dinosaur, give all your creatures 4 armor this turn. We've got a Spirit Charm. Choose one. If you have a Spirit unplayed, choose two instead. So you give a creature plus 10 health. You exhaust a creature. It gains Defender this turn. Deal 12 damage to an exhausted creature. We've got a Stampeding Elk. So it's got Breakthrough and Slay. Gain 5 life. We've got a Talisman. Activate to play a card for free. A new Terra Charger. Deploy, you may have this battle a creature. If this survives, you may repeat this ability. A new Pterodon Mauler. When this damages a player, you may give another creature +8/+8. Deploy, if this replaces a creature, give it 4 attack. This turn it gains aggressive and breakthrough. Then new Pterodon Nest. Give a creature +6/+6. When you play a dinosaur in this lane, give all your creatures +3/+3, then destroy this. And then finally, our Forgeborn here is Oros with a Shapeshift at level 2. So you give a creature +3/+3. This turn it has all creature types. You've got Spirit Bond at level 3 to give a creature +7 health, and give a creatures adjacent to it +7. And then Spell Surge at level 4 to give a creature +7 attack, and an additional +7 for each spell you play this turn. Wow, Spell Surge is really strong if you could play a very spell heavy deck. Huh, I'll have to look into that ability at other levels. Alright, good stuff. So, like I said, I'm not going to go too in depth about synergies and stuff right now. I'm just going to kind of open some of these to see what we get. Let's get that off camera. Alright, so we're starting with an Arrogant Walker, a Bloodletting Shambler. So when one of your creatures is destroyed, deal 3 damage to player, gain 3 life, which is a Shambler. Activate this, deals 2 damage to you, and and it gets 4 attack. This is pretty cool. I like that it could kind of make itself bigger. A Doom Butcher. Slay, deal 3 damage to the enemy player, you gain 3 life. Deploy, you may destroy another one of your creatures to deal damage equal to its power to creature or player. That's pretty good with a Shambler. A Dreadbolt, destroy a creature. Indomitable Fiend, when this is destroyed and you have the Forge, reanimate it to this lane. We've got a Raging Geist with aggressive. We've got a Shadow Strength, oh, this is a new one. This is free, give a creature +7 attack, this turn it gets stealth. This is kind of a Aegis Wings cycle, now that they've got more that let you get free at cycle 2 or 3. A Stout Alluvian, deploy if your Forgeborn is a higher level than this creature. Give an energy creature -7/-7. That's pretty cool too. Vampiric Revenant. When this is destroyed, you may deal 6 damage to a creature. Deploy Vampirics will deal 5, gain 5. We've got a Witherfrost Circle. Destroy your level 1 and level 2 Witherfrost Circle. Give a creature -6/-6. When an enemy creature is destroyed in this lane, play a random card from your discard pile. That's pretty sick. And then let's see what our Forgeborn is. We've got a Nyx with Dark Ritual at level 2. So it's... oh, that's interesting. We got Dark Summoning at level 3. And Endless Death at level 4. Whoa. This makes an Oak Father. That's weird in Necrom. So when this is destroyed, you may play an Oak Father minion each of your creatures. That's wild. Huh. I would have not guessed this kind of crossover. This might mean some sort of like weird crossover faction minion stuff coming on, because unless this is a misprint, which I doubt it is, that's just not what I was expecting to see. Huh. Well, that's wild. I'll have to look that up and see on some of the other cards if that's kind of how Endless Death level 4 always is. Alright, so that's an interesting one. And having the Shambler with that Doom Butcher seems pretty sick. Alright, let's get to Aloyan. So one thing I've noticed just from the one tournament today is that the Aloyan decks seem to be a lot more powerful than in set 1, or at least on the surface. There's a lot more going on where the cards kind of aren't necessarily support cards, but they're more standalone, really strong. And I found the Exalts, I might have just had a really good Exalt deck, but some of the Exalts were really powerful. But I'm still a little curious about when that Nyx that said, make an Oak Father. That's, again, not something I was expecting to see. Alright, so we're starting out with a Bright Steel Gargoyle. So activate if you have the Forge, give this +10 armor. Otherwise, give this +3 attack. You may move it up to 1 lane. We've got a Camouflaged Alamancer with Stealth. Activate to deal 3 damage for each mage you have in play. A Forge Plate Yeti with 4 armor. Deploy, you choose a creature. You may deal 1 damage to it for each creature, or for each armor on your creatures. We've got a Gizmo. When this is replaced, give the creature replacing it +6/+6, and you may play a Mega Gizmo. We've got a Glitch Scout. Mobility 1, slay, upgrade a card in your hand, then play it for free. Wow, that's really cool as well. That's not something I was expecting to see. We've got a Guardian's Wall. Deploy, you may give a creature -10 attack. When you play a warrior in this lane, you may give a creature -10 attack, then destroy this. Isolate, deal 18 damage to a creature if it has no creatures adjacent to it. Man, I want to play this with Ice Storm real bad. Shardbound Vexor, mobility 1. When this deals damage to a creature, it loses attack instead of health. Then if it has 0 attack, destroy it. We've got a Taunting Safeguard. Deploy if this is a lower level than your Forgeborn. Give your creatures 8 armor this turn. Then it's got Taunting to move a creature to the lane. We've got a Tech Upgrade. Choose 1. If you have a Scientist in play, choose 2 instead. You can either deal 10 damage, give 10 armor, or upgrade 2 cards in your hand. Let's see our Forgeborn. So we got Crux. This is the first Crux that I've opened. So it's got Mind Over Matter at level 2. Give a creature -7 attack. Give a creature +7 attack at level 3. Got a Precognition at level 4. Yeah, Crux is really strong. I'm interested to see how Mind Over Matter can really affect the game, being able to draw cards, the first card that actually lets you draw cards. So this last one from the first booster is the Tempest. And actually, I see, Dave, I just saw you jump on. This is something interesting, is that this Nyx at level 4 makes Oak Fathers, which is something I have not seen before. So I wonder if there's going to be some cross-faction stuff coming up soon, being able to make minions in other factions. Alright, so let's open up this Tempest deck. So we've got an Arrogant Adept, so if you've played 2 spells this turn, this is free, which is really cool with a lot of the Exalt and Soulbound going on. We've got a Chaining Warhound, so if this replaced a creature, deal 7 damage to a creature or player, and then deploy. If you've played a spell this turn, you play 1 for free. We've got a Disintegrate, a Flame Jet, a Lightning Charge to give all your creatures +9. This turn they get aggressive. We've got a Lightning Tamer, a Nargoth Commander to activate to deal 2 damage to creatures adjacent to this, to give them, wow, 6 attack. We've got a Quaking Warstoker to deal 2 damage to all of your other creatures. We've got a Summoning Frost Hulk. Deploy at the start of your combat. Enemy creatures don't deal combat damage this turn, and then deploy to play a Spell Swarm. Ooh, I like that with Summoning. We've got a Thundersoar. And then let's see, our Forgeborn is a Korok with Demolish at level 2, Lightning Speed at level 3, and then Earthen Fist at level 4. There's a lot of Forgeborn in this set so far that seem to actually battle stuff now that didn't before, which is really cool. So this was definitely a cool booster. Alright, let's open up the next kit. Yes, this is set 2. There are a lot of reprints in set 2, but yeah, there's a lot of playing it today. It was a lot of fun to play. Alright, let's see. Ooh, and this one's got a Soulbound. So the Soulbound actually replaces the token. So if you have a Soulbound, you'll see the card on one side, and you'll actually see the Soulbound on the back, or the Soulbound card that gets pulled in. See if I can actually get this open though. Alright. So we're starting with an Ardent Reveler. There we go. A Binding Sower. So you may gain 5. Wow. Gain 5 health, give your plants +5 health. At the end of your deck cycle, give this +6/+6. That's really cool. Some of these end of deck cycle stuff. We've got a Bramble Axe Warrior. At the end of the deck cycle, give this 18 attack. A Krogius. We've got a Glowhive Nursery. This is one of the cards that I've been very excited to actually open in this set, so I'm glad I got one. So deploy, you may play up to 3 Wisp minions. When you play a minion in this lane, give it +6/+6. So the other Glowhive Nurseries also let you play minions, and they actually stay on the field. So if you have 3 Glowhive Nurseries and play this, you can give 1 +4/+4, I think, 1 +6/+6, and the other one +2/+2. So this is a really cool one. We've got a Hive Mind Pact. If Hive Husk is in play, transform it, give it +8 health. Otherwise, play Living Hive. So that's the Soulbound card because it's got the red around it. We've got a Petrifying Ravager. So deploy if you gained health, get +6/+6. So I guess Petrifying is if this deals damage to a creature, exhaust it. If it does, not ready at the start of the next turn. That's going to be really good against decks with like stuff like Blight Witch. We've got a Refreshing Bartok. A Shardplate Behemoth. Whenever this this deals damage with its health instead of its attack. We've got a Pterodon Mauler. This is a card that I did not respect enough when the set first came out, but getting aggressive breakthrough and pumping something all in one turn is so good. Dang, a Betrayer Glowhive in red. That sounds so good, especially if you're playing spell sprites and stuff. All right, so our Nova is a Bounty at level 2, Nova's Judgment at level 3, and Nova's Might at level 4. Bounty is actually really strong, but I'm kind of upset they didn't call it Nova's Bounty like all the other abilities on Nova. But being able to gain life for each creature you have in play can be really good. Wow. Alright, so let's go to the next one. Alright, so we're starting with an Ardent Breaker. To give another one of your creatures +9. We've got an Asir Mech Mage. If you played a spell this turn, deal 8 damage. We've got a Combat Stone Fist, an Asperian Steel Plate. That's a pretty cool Betrayer. So if you replace a creature, give your creatures +3/+3. A Fireheart Idol. So when you play another creature, or when you play a creature in this lane or play another spell, put a counter on this. If there are 2 or more counters on this, you may destroy this, deal 8 damage to a creature or player. Wow, that's really strong. Especially being able to play creatures or spells to then do more damage. A Flame Sculptor Seal, so another Exalt. Deploy to deal 7 damage to an enemy creature. When you play a mage in this lane, deal 7 damage to an enemy creature, then destroy this. Got an Ice Storm. A Rageborn Eruptor. Breakthrough, give +3 attack for each Exalt in play when you deploy it. And actually, I didn't think this was going to be something you were going to be able to get off often, but I was actually playing a couple games today where I was like full of Exalts in every lane. So this could be really strong, especially with Breakthrough. If you're giving it 15, that could be really good. An Unstable Vortex. So when you play a spell, give a +4 attack. Activate to deal damage equal to this creature's power to another creature, then destroy this. This could be really cool with like something like a Shambler. A Windy Worm. Windy's new. I haven't seen that yet. Deploy to deal 2 damage to a creature for each spell in your banished pile. Wow. That could be really good removal. Then let's see our Forgeborn. So we got a Korok with Lightning Speed at level 2. We got Demolish at level 3. Then Earthen Fists at level 4 to give +8 attack, and you may have it battle an enemy creature. The fact that it's not an adjacent enemy creature or something in the same lane is actually really cool, because a lot of the other ones are gated by having to be in the same lane. Alright, so let's go to the Necron. But I'm really interested to see, as we start playing more set 2, if purple's still going to feel... Oh, another Soulbound card too. That's really cool. So 2 in this booster as well. But yeah, I'm interested to see if Necrom is still going to feel like it's one of the stronger factions in this set, or if anything's going to kind of overtake it. So just right off the bat, it seems like Alloy's going to get a really big power boost compared to where it was at. So I wonder if that's going to be enough for it to kind of see more play in a competitive setting. All right, so we're starting with an Ardent Walker, a Bloodletting Revenant, so you can deal damage to yourself to give it +4 attack. When this is destroyed, you may deal 6 damage to a creature. That's interesting. And it's a zombie. We've got Cacklebones. This is the first time I'm seeing this one. So it's a zombie dragon with mobility 1. Slay, you may destroy a creature. Wow, that's really good. So you can only trigger this once per turn. Otherwise, I guess you would just wipe their board. So that makes sense. We've got a Chanting of the Abyss. So you may give a creature in this lane +15 health and play Impending Doom. Creatures in this lane can't be destroyed by Muthrill's ability. So we'll have to see what that looks like. We've got a Dissipating Spectre, mobility 1 stealth. When this moves, give a +2 health. That's pretty cool. I haven't really seen too much mobility in other factions, so this could be really cool with like an Alolan mobility deck. And one that actually has benefits to moving. A Doom Necromancer. So activate to play a card for free in your discard pile. So you may destroy another one of your creatures to deal damage equal to its power to creature or player. That could be really strong, especially like, oh, I'll play a Krogius, deal damage next turn, sack it, or something. Or I guess Boris or whatever its name is would probably be even a better target. A Hibernating Devourer. Deploy, you may destroy one of your Exalts to destroy a creature at the same level. That's really cool. That's like a Cutthroat with your Exalts. We've got a Keeper of the Damned. Activate to destroy one of your creatures to play a Zombie Brute minion in that lane. We've got a Raging Drake. A Zombifying Fiend, so your other creatures are also zombies. That could be really interesting for the new zombie that gives all your zombies +4 attack when it's at level 3. That has to do with Exalts. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but there are some really cool zombie synergies, so that might be something good to look into. And then we've got our Forgeborn, which is Cersei, which is Soul Siphon at level 2. Level 3 is Shadowcast to give a creature +5 attack. This turn it gets Stealth, and Army Commander at level 4. I genuinely thought that Army Commander was not going to make its way into set 2, so I'm really surprised actually to see it that it kind of made itself to set 2, because it's one of those abilities that's just so strong. It gets you so much advantage. So let's see. So this is the Soulbound. I actually have to run back and get the other Soulbound from the last deck too. But we got Muthral. So it's got aggressive breakthrough, 1530. When it's transformed, destroy all other creatures, then destroy all exiles. So let's see what the other side is. So it's at the start of this turn. If this is the 4th deck cycle, transform this and put it into one of your empty lanes. Wow. So this is one of those things where I don't know how good this is going to be, because you have to really dedicate the 4th cycle, which ideally in a lot of competitive games you don't want to be getting the cycle 4. But I guess if you're at the end of the game, you could just wipe the board with this, which can be really strong. So I'm interested to see if this gets play more than just kind of being a novelty, but this is really cool. Wow. All right, and then let me just jump back. That other should be, here we go. That other Soulbound, so is Hive Husk. So at the level 2 ability, it's a level 3, or it's a 2/8 with 3 armor and defender. On the other side, it's a Living Hive. When this gains health, you may give another creature -4. Wow. With all the life gain in Utera, being able to kind of remove off your creature just by gaining life can be really strong. So this was made and transformed by one of the Soulbound cards in the other deck. Just get that back with that deck so I don't lose track. So hold on one sec. That goes back in here. Alright, so now let's go on to the next one. I really hope that when we get to set 3, they start putting pull tabs on these. Just because they can be a little bit of a pain to open. If anyone has any good tricks, that would be cool to know. Alright, so this is a Lion deck. We're starting with an Ardent Tactician, a Mechanizing Sentry. Oh, so your other creatures are also robots. There was a lot of robot synergy in some of the other cards in this set, so being able to make everything robots could be really interesting. Got a Nanoswarm, a Repurposed Researcher. So deploy, give this armor for each Exult play. Oh, in play, so it doesn't even have to be one of your own. And deploy if this replaced a creature, upgrade a card in your hand. That could be really cool. A Researching Prophet, so when you upgrade a card, give this +5/+5. I have a couple Necrom decks that upgrade a lot, so researching might be a really interesting keyword for that. A Salvage Techno Hulk, so when it's destroyed, you play a Mega Gizmo in this lane. Shield Node, you may give a creature in this lane 10 armor this turn. When you play a creature in this lane, give it 10 armor, then destroy this. Spirit Forge Sentinel, a Synapse Tinkerer, so you may destroy all enemy minions and upgrade a card in your hand, so that could synergize really well with that researching card. A Tech Upgrade, and got a Steel Rosetta. We got Enhance at level 2, Nanotech Disruptor at level 3, so when you replace a creature this turn, deal 6 damage to a creature. Wow, that with like an Apocalypser could be really cool just to wipe the board, and then Inspire to have the level 4 ability of your unused Forgeborn. It's interesting to see some of these new abilities with the old abilities, because there's some cards where it's like, so specifically Ironbeard. I never liked playing him in the old set, in set 1, but there's a couple really cool Ironbeard abilities that are in this new set that can really just make him feel a lot better. I'm like, wow, I actually want to play Ironbeard. Alright, so let's get to another kit. So I've got this one and then one more after that for tonight. Let's see if I could hit any foil decks, though. Nothing yet. I feel like this set I'm really going to be chasing foils. Just because I always, in every other game, I always foil out my decks and everything like that. So the fact that they added that is going to be a pain to my wallet, I could tell you that. Because I'm going to probably want to keep opening just to hit cool competitive foil decks. There we go. Alright, so we're starting with a Ferocious Bear, another Glowhive Nursery. We've got a Mustic Megatha. So it's when an Exalt is played, give this +4/+4. While this has 19 or more power. This has breakthrough. There's actually a few cards. I guess this might be a cycle because there was an Aloyan card that was similar where when you played Exalto, it would get power and then it would get armor. So I wonder if there's going to be one for every faction. A mystical Tangle Sprout. We've got an Oxodon Rager. So it's a breakthrough when when this has no adjacent creatures, destroy it. That's interesting. This could actually be one of those things where you deal damage after combat. You let this die to like your Shambler to gain health. So there might be some really interesting synergies with this card that can kind of surprise your opponent. A Patriarch's Binding. I haven't seen this one yet. So choose to play a Mega Gizmo minion, play a Zombie Brute, play a Spell Swarm, and play an Oakfather. So this is the second card that's letting you play minions out of faction. There was obviously that Nyx ability that let you play Oakfathers on Cycle 4, which I still can't get that out of my head because that's kind of interesting that you're able to play minions from other factions. But now you can actually play other minions from Utera that are from out of faction. So this makes me wonder because like they're very intentional when they do things like this. So I wonder if there's going to be some sort of weird cross faction thing coming up in the next few sets, where either Forgeborn are going to change alliances or maybe minions are going to change alliances. I don't know, but these kind of cards are very exciting to me to see how the game develops. But I feel like a card like this is really going to say something about the future of the game and kind of how they're going to develop the game. We've got a Stampeding Raptor. This one has a lot of dinos, actually. A Stegodon Alpha to slay, give another creature +5/+5. We've got a new Pterodon Mauler. I feel like I keep opening these today. So that's interesting, but I love this card, so I can't say no to that. We've got a Vine Lash. And then we've got an Oros. So Oros has Scapeshift at level 2, Darkforge Drain at level 3, and Spirit Bond at level 4. So actually, there's an Oros out there with that new ability, which the name I forget, where it's like for every spell you've played, give it +7 attack, and then Darkforge Drain giving spells or giving plus attack for spells in your Banish pile. Like you might be able to build an Oros spells deck to really like buff your creatures. So I'm gonna have to be on the lookout for a configuration of Oros that could do something like that. But wow. Like I haven't seen too many spoilers coming into today. Just the stuff that I've played against online as we've been getting up to set 2. Ooh, we got another Soulbound as we're looking through this. But like a lot of these cards are completely seeing these fresh, and it's very exciting because there's a lot of abilities that I would not expect, and there's a lot of really cool development in the way that you have to kind of think about playing the game. All right, so we've got a Burnout, a Firestorm, 1 through 2, a Flame Sculptor Seal. Deal 7 damage to an enemy creature. When you play a mage in this lane, deal 7 damage to an enemy creature, then destroy this. That could be so good in the right deck. The Goliath the Fearless. Deploy, you may transform Rage Idol. You may move an enemy creature to this lane. I'm excited to see what Rage Idol does. Lightning Charge. Give all your creatures +9 this turn, they get aggressive. This card I think is going to win a lot of games. Just if you get to cycle 2 or 3, I don't know if the other cycles, I'll have to check to see if level 2 and level 1 do it to all your creatures or just a few. But just being able to sneak in aggressive, it's one of those reasons why, what's the and not Infernal Ritual, yeah, Infernal Ritual. That's one of the reasons why that card could win so many games because it just gives everything aggressive. So being able to just play a bunch of stuff in the back row and then just be like, oop, all right, you're gonna see an extra 18 to 36 damage sometimes. So it's like that would be insane. We've got a Raging Stonefist. We've got a Stormcaller. We've got a Thundercrash Field. So to play, you may play a Spell Swarm minion in each Thundercrash Field. That's interesting. When one of your creatures in this lane gains attack, deal 2 damage to enemy player. Wow. I need to see the other levels of this as well. We got a Tortoise Colossus. Mobility 3 Defender. Activate this, loses the Defender to get aggressive this turn. I know there's a lot of things that actually can destroy or prevent things from activating. So this card seems really interesting, and it's one of those things where if they say, oh, you can't ready this next turn, you can't actually attack with this. So that's going to be a really interesting interaction to see as the game develops. Wardbringer Ritual. You may play a Spell Swarm minion. You may play this spell for free. Wow, there's a lot of really interesting cards in this one with a lot of minion or synergy. But here, I need to see a couple of these level 2s before I go on to see. So the Goliath is, you may move a creature to this lane. You may play a Spell Sprite minion in this lane. Oh, so I guess if you have multiple Thunder Crash fields out, you could play multiple sprites with the level 3. And then you get to deal damage whenever it gains attack. Wow. So if you're playing a lot of spell sprites and with like your burnout, your your Thunder Crash fields and your Warbringer rituals, that could be a lot of damage to the face. So let's see the idol first, and then we'll look at the Forgeborn. So the Rage Idol is when an enemy creature is destroyed in this lane, deal 2 damage to the enemy player. Wow. That's really interesting. Makes your removal really good. When the enemy creature enters this lane, deal 5 damage to it. When an enemy creature is destroyed in this lane, deal 5 damage to the enemy player. Wow. This can be something where you can just set up like a crazy lane with some really good creatures and then just be like, all right, your creatures are going to be wiped every time you play in this lane. Wow. So this is a really good one. I guess granted, you need to be at least cycle 3 to get it. So you can't really build around this early. Then we've got a Sunder with a Gale Surge, which is one of her new abilities. At level 2 to give your creatures attack and mobility, a Stimbolt, and then a Summon the Swarm. And I can't wait to start building decks. There's so many cards I'm excited about right now. Oh, another Soulbound. Huh. I feel like I'm getting a lot of them, but I feel like the odds are not supposed to be this high. But I won't complain, because I feel like this is the second or third booster with 1 or 2. Alright, there we go. We've got a Bride of Frankenbaum. Slay, you may play oh, wow. So this can be something where you're killing creatures and then throwing out free spells. So like if you can make this fight something, kill it, play another free spell. I like this card a lot. This could be good in a Spellslinger deck if you have the right build. With a Dark Heart, alright. This is getting off to a good start. A Devouring with a Dark Heart too. So Luvian is if your Forgeborn is a higher level than this creature, you could give it -7/-7. Then whenever you play a spell, give this -3/-3. So let's hope there's some good spells in here too. An Epidemic. That's not bad. I don't like killing my own creatures, but it's still like a nice safety valve. You got Evil Lab. I've not seen this one before. Deal 7 damage to a creature, you gain 7 life. When you play a scientist in this lane, give it +4/+4 and destroy this. Wow. Alright, so this is removal and buff. I can't say no to that. We've got a Ghoulish Amoeba. That's a great modifier here. A Grimgaunt Predator to use as removal with stealth. Runescarred Pit. This card was a card that was so strong when I was playing it earlier today. So it's you basically each one of these, when you play the next level, you get a brute in the lane for the new Exalt you've played, as well as the old ones. So it's like you can basically get 3 brutes the turn you play the third Runescarred Pit, as long as you have all 3 out. But it gets you a brute every time in that lane, basically, when you play it. So this can be a really strong card if you build around it and build up to it. And the fact that it's a spell is strong with your Dark Heart. General Zareth. So activate to give your other zombies +3/+3. Wow. Let's see what it's soulbound with after Zimis. I love Zimis. So it's nice to have it there. There's nothing that really takes advantage of it with the destruction side, but I guess like Epidemic, you could kill it and then bring it back. So, and that's... Alright, so that's level gated as I would have expected. So we've got a Cersei here with Sorrow to give all non-Necrom creatures -2/-2. Shadowcast to give +5 in stealth, and then Soul Siphon. And then let's see what this soulbound here is. So your creatures in this lane are also zombies. When you play a zombie, put a counter on this, and if there are 5 or more, transform it into Ziggurat of Zareth. So your creatures in this lane are zombies. When one of your creatures in this lane is destroyed, deal 2 damage and gain 2 life. So it's almost like a Shambler in that lane. Alright, I could get behind this. Wow. And I hope that it makes that at level 1. But let's just double check. Yep, you play Harvesting Ground right away. So you do have to do a little bit of building, but you're usually playing a lot of zombies when you're playing Necrom. So that could be a nice little method to buff and shamble and all that kind of stuff. I want to have that card with a Shambler. That would be insane. But it's nice, though, when you have a Soulbound that plays an Exalt, that's basically a free trigger off your Dark Heart Sorcerer as well. Because playing that Exalt is considered playing a spell. Alright, so we're starting with an Armored Specimen, a Bolstering Virtuoso, a Bulwark Bash to give a creature 10 armor this turn. May deal damage equal to its armor to an enemy creature. Wow, with all the armor that this is giving, that might be a really strong card in this deck. A Combat Medic, Slay to give another one of your creatures health. An Emboldening Safeguard. So Emboldening, I guess, is to display to give your chasing creatures power, and then deploy if this is a lower level than your Forgeborn, give armor. So this one's giving a lot of armor. I hope there's more armor synergy in here too. So we've got Isolate to deal 18 damage to a creature if it has no creatures adjacent to it. A Mechanizing Techno Hulk, so your other creatures are robots. We've got a Redact to destroy a creature with 10 attack or less and gain 5 life. I like that they're adding stuff like life gain to some of these other factions too. Like, again, like this feels like they're kind of crossing factions a little bit based off set 1, and I wonder kind of how this is going to play into the story. But I feel like this has got to be something because you don't really see too much life gain in Aloyan in the first set. We've got a Stabilizing Sentry that can combo pretty well with that. Which was it called? The Bulk War? No, not the Bashed. The I can't find it now. Oh, the Redact, the one that was literally right on top. Being able to make something lower attack if it got a lot of power, and then just destroy, make it lower, and then destroy it. Yeah. Bid Icarus. So I've heard a lot about this card. So deal damage to a creature, Slay ready this. You could basically wipe someone's board of minions with this card. This sounds insane. I'm excited to try this out in the game. And then let's see. We got another Crux. So Shattered Psyche to destroy a creature with 5 attack or less. Precognition, an enemy player plays a level 1 card for free, then you may play a card for free. Then Mind Over Matter, draw 4 cards, put 4 cards from your hand on top of your deck, give the next creature you play 12 armor this turn. I feel like this is the Crux Cobalt that I want to try, at least with Precog at level 3 and Mind Over Matter at level 4. I'm probably going to try to Forge Seal Mantis it, just because I want to see if we can abuse those abilities. And like at level 3, your opponent's probably not going to have too many level 1 cards left, where then you could play a level 3 card right back. So I think this is going to be a fun thing to play around with and see how much value you could get out of it. All right, so we got one more booster kit left. And I do have quite a few other displays. I just need to make sure I go to bed kind of early tonight. Otherwise, I would open more tonight. But I will be opening more over the weekend, as well as trying to do some sealed games and like play as much as I can. So let's see. I don't think any of these look foil. Nope. So no foils in this display, but I hope I get some later on in the weekend. So we'll start with the Utera deck here. So we've got a Binding Bear. At the end of the deck cycle, give this +6/+6. We've got a Botanimate. We've got a Glowhive Nursery. We've got a Hibernating Lotus. So if this was played at a lower level than your Forgeborn, you may give another creature +8/+8. Hive Mind Pact. That's another one of the Soulbound ones where you get to transform the Husk. So I guess we could look at the Husk with a deck that actually plays it. That's cool. So I guess it keeps bringing it back. Some of the other Soulbounds don't actually bring it back after level 1. So it looks like even if the Husk dies, you could play it again at the other levels. We've got a Mustic Megatha, from just like the one we got earlier. We've got a Noxious Druid. Oh, wow. Destroy all exhausted enemy creatures. That could be really strong as an ability, because I know there's some decks where like I'm activating 2 to 3 cards on my turn. If they just play Noxious something and destroy everything, that could be wild. We've got another Pterodon Mauler. I feel like I've opened one in almost every green deck tonight. A Venerable Bartok. A Venom Chalice to give a creature -9 health. When you play a creature in this lane, give it +9 health and destroy this. Alright, that's interesting. Then we've got an Oros with Darkforge Drain at level 2. Scape Shift at level 3, and then Spirit Bond at level 4. That's interesting. So give a creature plus 10 and a creature adjacent to it plus 10. That's not as good as I would hope for a level 4 ability. You'd almost want all your creatures to get plus 10 or something like that. And this was again a Hive Husk with 3 in Defender, and I guess if you play your Soulbound card, you get to transform it into that 8/12, or whenever you gain life, give another creature -4 health. This one has not as much life gain as I would want to take advantage of that card, but that could still be a really strong one in the right deck. And I do feel like actually a lot of the set 2 cards really synergize well with set 1 cards. So like none of these cards from set 1 have felt out of place with set 2, which is really cool. And granted, I haven't played most of these yet, but just from looking at them. So we've got an Abetting Colossus to give one of your creatures +7 attack. This turn it gets Breakthrough. We've got an Asir Mech Mage. Combat Ice Crusher. I feel like I'm opening set 1 right now. Disintegrate. Nargoth Commander to deal 2 damage to creatures adjacent to this to give them +6 attack. A Raging Invocust. Oh wow, a Mech Mage with Invocus is always cool. Rolling Shard back. Wow, that's got a lot of text on it. So Mobility 1. When this is dealt non-combat damage, deal 5 damage to all enemy creatures. When this moves into lane with an opposing creature, deal 5 damage to that creature. So I wonder, I would assume that... Wow. So I would assume that this is the rolling is the mobility where when this moves to a lane, deal 5 damage to that creature. But that's really strong as a modifier. So I assume then the shard back is when this is dealt non-combat damage, deal 5 damage to all enemy creatures. Yeah, if you ping this with something on your own and just wipe their board, that could be insane. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. We've got a Spirit Golem Conclave. I haven't seen this one yet. So destroy your level 2 and level 3 Spirit Golem Conclaves to give a creature +15. When one of your creatures enter this lane, give it +15 attack. And I feel like this and Thundersaur are going to be good friends. Stampeding Mongosaur. A Venerable Razortooth. Then our Forgeborn here is a Korok with Blast Wave at level 2, Earthen Fist at level 3, and Lightning Speed at level 4. Interesting. So 3 damage up to 2 creatures. I think I like the 8 damage or 6 damage on one creature, but being able to hit multiple things is not bad. Earthen Fist to battle and give a power, and then Lightning Speed is his set 2 or set 1 ability. All right, so we got 2 more left. Let's open the Align one next. And part of me internally is trying to justify, hey, I could open one more display, but I really shouldn't, because then I'll be up until like 2 in the morning. All right, so you got an Aegis Knight, a Pokemancer, a Combat Techno Hulk, Combat Tactician, Scythian Experimentation. Again, this feels like a set 1 deck. An Emboldening Medic. Alright, so being able to give stuff power, and when this kills something, give health to one of your adjacent or one of your creatures. That could be pretty strong. I like this Emboldening ability because at level 3, you're given 10 power if you have creatures adjacent to this, so that could be really interesting. An Energy Prison. The Gizmo. This is a card I think is going to be a lot stronger than it looks at face value. I'm very excited to play this one. Because it's basically it acts as a gizmo, gets you a gizmo, and just, I guess if you could reanimate this with like a Steel Rosetta ability, that could be really, really strong. So it's like you replace it, get it, replace it, get it. You could have some crazy turns with this. We've got a Shield Node. This card I think is so strong. I played this tonight in the deck I played in my sealed event. So when you deploy it, you destroy your level 1 and 2 of this card. You play a Mega Gizmo, and you can play it in any lane. Then when you replace a creature in this lane, you may play a Mega Gizmo in one of your empty lanes. So at level 2, whenever you replace a creature in the lane, it gets you 2 2 gizmos in empty lanes, and at level 1 it gives you 1 gizmo. So like this can fill your lanes and just like I think this card is probably why Drix is not allowed to be in set 2 because this card is insane. Like it just gives you so much advantage. So this is a card I can't wait to try to get a lot of value out of, and this with Gizmo in the same deck seemed like that would be one potentially really good way to do it. All right, and then we've got another Crux. Synaptic Siphon to give a creature -4 attack, give a creature +4. We got Mind Over Matter at level 3 to draw 3, put 3 from your hand on the top of your deck. The next creature you play this turn gets +8 armor. And then Precognition at level 4. So that swaps from the other one, Mind Over Matter and Precognition. So they get to play level 1 for free, and then you may play a card for free. So I think if you're playing this with a Forge Seal and Mantis, Precognition at level 4 could actually potentially be even stronger than expected. But I guess, because it's like at level 4, you don't care if your opponent plays a level 1 card. At level 3, you probably don't care too much either, especially when you're playing likely a level 3 or 2 card from its ability. So I'm again very excited to see how these go and how this ability plays. Because granted, it's not ideal to give your opponent value to be able to play stuff from their hand when they normally wouldn't. But if you can get that much more advantage out of it, it's hard to say no. All right, so we got the last one for tonight. If I could get it open, and another Soulbound. It's actually the same one from before too. So I feel like I'm getting duplicate Soulbounds, which is interesting. I wonder if that's like a seeding thing in the packs. So we're starting with an Ardent Devour, so you could destroy one of your exalts to destroy a creature at the same level. We got the Chanting of the Abyss, which is actually the same card as before, where that's what makes the Impending Doom. So you get health, and when you play the creature in that lane, creatures in this lane can't be destroyed by that Muthral's ability, which that ability seems insane. Although it's interesting because creatures in this lane, I assume, also means your opponent's creatures. So it's like you're kind of saving your opponent as well. But I feel like it would be too strong if you're just saving all of your creatures and um, killing all of theirs. So we got a Devouring Shambler. That's interesting on a Shambler. I don't think I've gotten this modifier yet. Whenever you play a spell, give a creature -3/-3. We've got a Dissipating Spectre, which again, I really like the fact that it gets health when it moves. We've got a Glorf Glob. I love this name. All right, so deploy, give this attack and health equal to twice the health of one of your creatures, then destroy that creature. With a Shambler, that's actually really cool. So I could play that Dissipating Spectre, move it, get it to 15 attack or 15 health, play the Glorf Glob, give this twice the power and health. So you basically give yourself 30 attack, and then you get the destruction ability for your Devouring Shambler. So that could be an interesting little combo, but I love the name of this card. Glorf Glob. We've got a Grimgaunt Harvester. Interesting. So I haven't seen this one yet either. So it's Defender. When one of your creatures is destroyed, give this 4 attack. Plus has 12 or more attack, it loses Defender and gains Aggressive. Wow. So this could be really good with something like that Glob. Especially because if you play this and then destroy it, you're getting 48 attack and 48 health on whatever creature you put this on. Even if you don't just like go through and use it to buff something like this. Brute Meal. I always love this card. This is a card I undervalued way too much at the beginning of set 1. But being able to use this level 3 ability is so strong. Runescarred Pit again. This is a card that I feel like is going to be so good. It's like almost like a Cersei's Call every time you play it, except it's brutes at every level. We've got Shadow Strength. This is another one that free cycle. So this one's free at cycles 2 and 3, if I'm not mistaken. You give a creature 7 attack. This turn it gets stealth. This could be a game finisher sometimes if it's off Forge, or if you're on Forge, I mean. Then we got a Zimus. Oh, that could also synergize pretty well with some of the other destruction stuff in this deck. So when this is destroyed, reanimate it to the same lane. All right, so then look at the Nyx. So we've got Dark Summoning at level 2, Endless Death at level 3, and then Soul Rip at level 4. So that's actually interesting. So I think Endless Death was the one that gets you Oak Fathers at level 4, but at level 3 it gets you Brutes. So I guess there's not much higher you can go from Brutes. So I guess there's probably Mindless Zombies at level 2, Brutes at level 3, and they were like, we got to go bigger, so we're going to make Oak Fathers at level 4. But that's interesting in terms of, again, that cross-faction ability to get minions from the other factions. I feel like that's got to be a big signal because like when they did Fuse Fest or not Fuse Fest, when they did the PAX events, you basically were able to get these world altering enchantments, which then the next set they released exalts. So I feel like the fact that you're able to play minions from other sets, um, like again, I'm showing this card, but there was a version of Nyx with level 4 so endless death that every time one of your creatures is destroyed, you play an Oak Father this turn. I feel like this is like a big indicator that they're going to be moving forward with some more cards that let you kind of do stuff interfaction. So that was the booster kit that I was going to open. Um, like again, I really want to open another one tonight, but I think I'm going to have to save it for tomorrow just because it's already getting super late. But thank you everybody who's tuned in. This set is already looking to be incredible. Like everyone who played it at our local store, who the owner's actually been in the chat tonight. Um, Everyone had a great time. The set is a lot of fun. It seems like it's pretty well balanced, at least at the very beginning. Granted, none of us have really done anything to try to break it yet, um, but this is definitely something that I'm very excited about, and I'm excited to open more of this. And I think the addition of stuff like the Soulbounds make it kind of exciting to open this product now, and then the addition of foil decks make it even more exciting to open. So I think just the experience of opening packs is a lot better in set two, just because it's like you have the opportunity to get not only strong synergized decks, but you could also get these cool special additional things with your decks. But thank you everybody for tuning in. Um, Tomorrow, I will probably be opening some more product. I will also be working towards coming out with a nice little schedule for the streams I'm going to be doing this weekend to play against people and kind of try some sealed games, try some constructed games, just to kind of see how these cards perform in a competitive and fun setting. And then, other than that, just I'll probably be putting out a ton of set two content over the next few weeks. So thank you everybody for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.